now that we've worked to the end of round 7, we'll take a look at our stitch count. In between each of the chain 2 corner spaces, we should have a DC, which is worked into that corner space, front post double treble, which reaches over to here, 3 DC over the next 3 stitches, 2 front post trebles over the next 2 stitches, 6 DC over the next lot of 6 stitches, your 2 front post trebles here into the next 2 stitches, 3 doubles of your next 3 stitches, a front post double treble which reaches to here, and a DC in that corner. So that works out at 20 stitches. So you've got your 1 in the corner there, your front post double treble, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so make sure you've got 20 stitches in between each of your chain 2 spaces on every side. And now, because we're continuing with the copper yarn, we don't need to cut off and join with an invisible join. We're just going to join with a slip stitch to that very first standing DC that we made. Okay, so making sure that you're not working into the next DC, which is there. We're having to work into that standing DC that we made, okay. There we go. And then pull that through there to make it a slip stitch. Chain 1 and work a DC into that very same space that we've just joined. And then we're working a DC into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now into the corner space we're working 1 DC, 2 chain and 1 DC. Now we're working 1 DC into each of the 20 stitches along here. Okay? So just work 1 DC into each stitch all the way along, and as we've just counted, there should be 20, okay? So then when you get to this corner space, it's 1 DC, 2 chain, 1 DC, and then just a DC into each stitch to the next corner space. Okay? So because we've already worked 4 here, we only need to do 16 DC across here, not 20 because we've already worked to the 4 in the end. Okay? So I'll see you when you get to this point. So now we've got to the end of round 8, where we've put a DC into every stitch along the edges and put in a DC, 2 chain and a DC into every corner. So we know in between each of our 2 chain we'll have 22 stitches because we had 20 stitches to work into, and then we will put in the DC on either side into the corner space. So you should have 22 DC in between each 2 chain space. Now we can finish off with an invisible join. So cut the yarn and pull up, and then making sure not to go into the first chain 1 that we did of that round. We're going into the DC, the first DC, so that'll be the chain 1. That's the DC. Going straight into there, grab the yarn and pull it through to the front. Then enter in that last DC that you did from back to front, just picking up that back loop, grab the yarn and pull it back through to the back for your invisible join. So that is round 8 completed now. So now we can move on to round 9 and grab our white yarn. So for round 9 we're going to take the white yarn and join to any chain 2 corner space with a standing treble. And then we're going to chain 2 and another treble into that same corner space. So that's what your corner should look like. Now we're going to work 2 back post trebles around the next 2 DC. So entering from the back, insert your hook into that chain 2 space, and then over the front of that DC so that the post ends up on the back. Yarn over and pull from the back to the front all the way to the back again. Finish off your treble, and again insert your hook in between them 2 DCs over the front of the post of that DC so it's on the back. Grab the yarn and pull to the back and finish off your treble. Okay, so now we're going to work a double treble around the double treble from round 7. And now we're going to work 3 back post trebles, making sure we miss that stitch that we've just worked. So there's your 3 back post trebles. Now we're going to work 2 front post double trebles over the next 2 front post trebles from round 7. And again, wrap around twice under that next treble and finish off your double treble. There we go. So now, missing them 2 stitches that we've just worked past, that one and that one, we're working 6 back post trebles now over the next 6 stitches. Okay, so that's your 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back post trebles along here. Then we're going to work another 2 front post double trebles to mirror this side over these 2 front post trebles from round 6. That's 1, yarn over twice, under the next one, finish off your double treble. And now we're working 3 back post trebles over the next 3 stitches, making sure we're not working into them ones that we've just worked in front of. There we go, and now we're working front post double treble down to this front post treble here, front post double treble should I say, from round 7. And then we're missing that stitch that we've just worked in front of and working 2 back post trebles over the last 2 stitches. So your hook ends up in that corner space. Okay. So that is what your row should look like. So you start off with your 2 back post trebles, a front post double treble, your 3 back post trebles, 2 front post double trebles, 6 back post trebles, 2 front post double trebles, 3 back post trebles, 1 front post double treble, and your 2 front post trebles. So This row is pretty straightforward, there's nothing unusual, it's symmetrical. So we'll just work that corner the same way as we've worked this corner here. So that is a treble, 2 chain and a treble. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to work this side the same as your next 3. Finishing here, your last stitches that you do will be your two front back post trebles here before you get to that corner. Okay, so I'll see you when you get to that point. So now that we've got to the end of round 9, we'll take a quick look at our stitches. In between each chain 2 corner space, you should have a treble going into that corner, 2 back post trebles, a front post double treble, 3 back post trebles, 2 front post double trebles, 6 back post trebles, 2 front post double trebles, 3 back post trebles, 1 front post double treble, 2 back post trebles and a treble into that corner. So that should be 24 stitches in total, 6 of them being front post double trebles. Okay, so take time to make sure that you've got the right amount of stitches, because if you've gone wrong it'll save you time rather than finding out when you do your next round. Okay, so now we can finish off this round, and we're going to finish it with a invisible join. So pull the yarn up and we are joining to the first chain. That's your standing treble, so we're joining to that first chain there. There we go. Grab the yarn that you've just cut and pull it through to the front. Insert your hook from back to front, just picking up that back loop of the last treble that you did. Grab the yarn and pull through to the back. Okay, so that is what round 9 should look like. So now we can move on to round 10 and grab our mocha yarn.